To our all blue coverage now, and Kentucky head basketball coach Mark Pope's new contract is official.
Our Dave Baker is joining us in studio to break it all down. How about it, Dave?
Hey guys, good evening. Mark Pope's contract is now official. All the I's have been dotted, the T's have been crossed. The 5-year deal worth $27.5 million. That's about $5.5 million per year for those of you keeping score at home. Of course, that contract has the normal performance bonuses in it. But one note of interest, if Kentucky advances to the Sweet 16, the contract will automatically be extended by an additional season, with $250,000 added to his salary for each extra year, as long as there are no more than 5 seasons remaining on that contract. If Pope is fired before the 2028-29 season, UK would owe him 75% of what's left in a deal. If he opts out early, he'll owe up to 33% of the deal. But that percentage could go down if Mitch Barnhart is no longer the athletics director. Barnhart is under contract through the 2027-2028 season. Now, a lot of us remember the day when the Kentucky coach getting bonuses for winning in the first and second round was almost kind of like giving away free money, right? But remember, Pope is inheriting a program that hasn't made it past the first weekend of the NCAA tournament since, believe it or not, 2019.